Out YouTube land, and welcome back to a new episode of GBA. In this video, we're going to be going over my most recent video game pickups. It's probably been 2 months since I filmed the last one, so unfortunately that means I have a lot of games to show you, so I'll probably be speeding through these pretty quickly. I really need to start doing these more often and not letting these massive piles of games build up, but alas, what can you do? But yeah, first of all, like usual guys, I'm going to start out with some of the bigger stuff, or the stuff that's not necessarily video games. So the first thing I wanted to show you is several months ago I subscribed to BAM Gamer Box, which is really neat because you get some video game related autographs, whether it's, you know, voice actors or people who create video games, I guess, possibly. But I got 2 here. I got this autographed NBA Jam print, which is really neat. It's autographed by the guy that commentated in the NBA Jam games, so that's really cool. And I got the God of War autograph. Cannot remember what her name was, but obviously still really, really neat things to add to the collection, especially if you like autographs like I do. I collect autographs. So yeah, pretty cool stuff here. And like I said, if you guys are interested in the BAM Gamer Box, check back through my videos. I've done, I want to say 2 or 3 of those. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Set those to the side. Now, some of the bigger stuff that I got. Did a video on this, but we have the Taxsuit X40 from bHaptics. This is basically a haptic feedback suit for virtual reality. So you can put this on, you can feel things in virtual reality. It's really, really neat. Definitely kind of weird at first to get used to, but really cool peripheral for virtual reality to get us one step closer to Ready Player One. Like I said, I did a video on this, so go back and look at that if you want to see an unboxing of this. But yeah, definitely would recommend this to anybody with an Oculus Quest if you have the $550 to drop on something like this. But yeah, the Taxsuit X40 by bHaptics, really awesome. Absolutely love it. Next up, the only console I purchased was this Nintendo Switch. It's the limited edition Mario Red and Blue version. Didn't really need it, but when I saw it sitting on a shelf, couldn't resist myself. And this console looks great. I absolutely love it. I wish they would have incorporated more blue, but nonetheless, still a very good looking console. So yeah, pretty cool item to add to the collection. Alright, so now with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the video games. Like I said, I'm going to shoot through these pretty quick, but if there's something I want to talk about a little bit, I'll mention it. As usual, we'll start with mostly the handheld stuff. So let's go with the original Game Boy games. So we have Terminator 2, the arcade game. Championship Pool. Spider-Man and X-Men, Arcade's Revenge. Godzilla. Darkwing Duck. That's a really fun platforming game. For the original Game Boy, we have Primal Rage. This was actually a lot more fun on the Game Boy than what it had any right to be. We have Volleyball. Tom and Jerry Frantic Antics. Now I think I have both of the Tom and Jerry games for the Game Boy. Here's a good one. Gargoyle's Quest. Really, really fun game. We've got, for Game Boy Color, we've got Pac-Man. I think that might be the only Game Boy Color game in this pickups video. We have Soccer Mania. Power Racer. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Sometimes it's fun to get these games that are on the original Game Boy and the NES to see kind of how they compare with each other. This is a really, really fun game that I did not know a whole lot about that I would suggest you guys checking out. whether you get the card or emulation or however you want to play it. But we have Mercenary Force. Very, very fun game. And last up, a fantastic racing series, we have Micro Machines. So yeah, I mean, overall, nothing super crazy in that, but definitely some great Game Boy games to add to the collection. I can't complain too much. I think pretty much almost all those either came from Video Games Monthly or Retro Game Treasure. So I always thank them for helping me add some Game Boy games to my collection. Alright, so next up, let's go ahead and show some 3DS games. We have Super Black Bass 3D, Yokai Watch, Animal Crossing New Leaf, and Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. So yeah, some pretty quality 3DS titles added to the collection. Can't complain too much about that. So next up for the PSP. Siphon Filter Logan's Shadow. SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs Tactical Strike. Beowulf the Game. A loose copy of Lemmings. Lemmings never gets old no matter what system it's on. Super fun arcadey style sports series. We have Hot Shots Golf Open T. Been playing these games since the original PlayStation 1, and I will never ever get tired of Hot Shots Golf. And next up, another great series, we have Wipeout Pure. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot of PSP games in general. I think I got pretty much every single one of those from Video Games Monthly, so they are definitely hooking me up with some good PSP games for the collection. So I guess let's go on to Switch, since I guess you could consider that a handheld system, sort of. I'm pretty sure all of these came from limited run games. We have Return of the Obra Dinn. At least I think that's how you say that. We have Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. One of my favorite racing games of all time. This game is fantastic on the Dreamcast, but I spent a lot of time with this on the Nintendo 64. So yeah, pretty cool. Haven't opened this up yet or played it, but I've heard good things about it. Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl. So this is, I haven't played this one yet either, but it looks kind of like an 8-bit brawler, like beat-em-up game, so I'm sure I'll like it a whole lot. Wizard of Legend. Sorry, I got some of the cards stuck to the games there. We have Blaster Master 02. I was so happy that some of these got physical releases. And Blaster Master 0. Because I don't really buy digital games, so every time I see some of these really, really cool games that Limited Run puts out, I just have to buy them. I'm really stoked to get Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, you know, whenever we get that. I know the pre-orders just closed on that a couple days ago, so it'll probably be a while. So I guess let's go ahead and show these. I picked up 4 Atari 2600 games. Don't really buy these too much, but I really wanted these 4 games for this one specifically. We have Stampede. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. I've always enjoyed this game a lot. If you guys haven't played it, you should. It's definitely one of my favorite Atari 2600 games. We have Star Master. Oink. And last up, we've got Laser Blast. So yeah, I picked these up for about $1 a piece, and you know, the shipping was cheap too. So I mean, anytime you can add some 2600 games for that cheap, it's always a no-brainer, especially Activision titles. This was my first video game memories came from the 2600. Not my favorite console by any means, but I still like going back and playing some of these sometimes. So yeah, definitely cool to add some new Atari 2600 games to the collection. Not something I do very often. Alright, so I think that pretty much does it for handhelds. So let's go ahead and show the PlayStation 1 games that I got. Not nothing too crazy special, but I'm always looking to add PS1 games. We have NFL Game Day 2000, MLB 2001, Nuclear Strike. Always enjoyed these games. NHL Face-Off 99, Madden 99, Air Hockey, M&M's Shell Shocked, the original Gran Turismo. Really changed my view on racing games. This was such a cool game back in the day. As I've gotten older, though, I do prefer arcadey racing games over simulation racing games, but I still had a blast with that. We've got A Bug's Life. Fantastic fighting game. Tekken 3. So good. Real fun arcadey boxing games. Ready to Rumble Boxing. Yeah. Couldn't remember if this was the second one or the first one. We have Eagle 1 Harrier Attack. Another great fighting game. We've got Tekken 2. A demo disc, underground demo disc. PS1, we've got Casper. I hadn't played this game a ton when I was younger, my early teens or whatnot. I've always really liked, 3D action, adventure, platforming games. But we have Rascal. I really liked this game when I was young. We've got Final Fantasy VIII. I had the black box version of this game, so when I saw the greatest hits for a good price, I picked it up. And Medal of Honor Underground. Yeah, so some decent stuff in there. Nothing like overly crazy or whatnot. But even when it comes to like filler titles, I'm always happy to add stuff to the PS1 collection. So I guess on that note, let's show the PlayStation 2 games. Very few. We have the Pop Hits Volume 1 with Bejeweled 2 and Astropop. I actually really like the PopCap games. They're fun to play like when you're drinking some beers or whatnot. I play them on my arcade machine quite a lot. We've got 4x4 Evo. And a sealed copy of Puzzle Challenge Crosswords and More. Yeah, so definitely no barn burners in that stack, but, always happy to add some PS2 games to the collection. I guess let's go ahead and show the one Sega Master System game I picked up recently. So this is the American barcode version. We have Strider for the Master System. Not as good as the Sega Genesis version, but still not a bad game. I actually really like this. It's fun to play. But yeah, I love adding Sega Master System games to the collection. Getting harder and harder to find ones that aren't super expensive, but happy to get Strider. And it's always fun to get those, the barcode US versions of the games. Kind of neat history behind them and stuff like that. Alright, so I guess let's go ahead and let's move on to Sega Dreamcast and Sega CD Games. We have Air Force Delta on the Dreamcast. Sealed copy of NBA 2K1. These Dreamcast sports games are some of the best ever made. I will live by that. These games are still great to play to this day. And we also have a sealed copy of NHL 2K. I cannot stress enough how good these Sega Dreamcast sports games are. I actually have the sports edition of the Sega Dreamcast, which I like quite a lot. I like the fact that it's black. Alright, so for the Sega CD, I usually print out case artwork for these and put them in DVD cases. I just haven't had time, so I'll show you guys the loose discs. We have Championship Soccer 94. Ironically enough, this is not the easiest game to find, and complete in box is actually pretty expensive, so I got the disc only for really cheap, so I picked it up. We have The Adventures of Willie Beamish. Not an expensive game to begin with, but it's cheap when you get it disc only, so I figured why not. And my last disc only game, we have Dune for the Sega CD. This game has been increasing a lot in value as of late, so I just opted to get the disc only copy because it was cheap. And I don't mind having disc-only copies. I can print out some artwork, put them in a DVD case, put them on the shelf, and they look fine up against the complete in-box Sega CD games. Actually, I lied to you. I have one more loose Sega CD game. I had just printed out artwork for this one. We've got Batman Returns, which is one that I've been looking to add to the collection for a while, so I was happy to get this. Once again, this is not the cheapest game in the world. It's not like super expensive, but I came across a disc-only copy. I think I paid like $15 for it, which was a really good deal. So now, to complete Sega CD games, I thought I had this one. That's the reason why I haven't gotten it yet. But we have Bill Walsh's College Football. I mean, nothing spectacular. Like I said, if I didn't think I already had this game, I would have picked it up a while ago. But the best Sega CD game that I've added recently, we have Battle Corps. Or Battle Corps, or however you say that. This is actually a Core Designs game. One that I've been looking to add to the collection for a while. Just haven't picked it up. Got this one for a good price. And, you know, it's in good overall shape. So yeah, some pretty good Sega Dreamcast and Sega CD games. So happy to get all those and add them to the collection. Alright, next up, let's go ahead and run through these Wii games real quick. We have a sealed copy of Kokoto Magic Circus. At least I think that's how you say that. Crash of the Titans. NASCAR 2011, the game. Monster Jam, Path of Destruction. Really fun game. We've got Mario Party 8. Mario Part 8 and 9 on the Wii were actually pretty good games. I like both of them. We've got Wii Play Motion. And that is it. That is all of my Wii games that I've added. Obviously Mario Party 8 being the best one of the bunch. But you know, I think I just crossed over 400 Nintendo Wii games. So it's always good to add some extra to the collection. You know, some of these are filler, but sometimes it's fun to look at the filler games on the Wii because there's some really bad stuff. And it's kind of fun to play those and see what they're like. Lots of shovelware on that system, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know. Alright, so next up, let's go ahead and let's take a look at some PS4 games. We've got Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. WWE 2K Battlegrounds, which they put this out in place of one of their standard WWE releases this year. We have Robinson the Journey VR, which is obviously just disc only. For those of you who don't know, I love PlayStation VR. I collect heavily for the PlayStation VR. So anytime I'm looking at PS4 games and they've got VR games that I don't currently have, I always pick those up. We have Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown, which has a VR mode included, which is fantastic. If you guys want a good VR experience, try this game. A game a lot of people hate on that I did not think was that bad, but I did not spend a lot of time with it. We've got Marvel Avengers. Like I said, for the couple hours I spent playing this game, I didn't really think it was that terrible. We've got Wipeout Omega Collection, which has a VR mode included, which is super cool to play this in VR. A little bit disorienting, but once you get used to it, it's not bad. We've got Mars Odyssey, which has some fantastic visuals, but not the best game in the world, I guess you could say. And we've got Star Wars Squadrons. Alright, so that's it. That is all the PS4 games. Some really good stuff in that lot. I think I bought all those from GameStop when they were running one of those absurd deals. I got those all for like, I want to say it was like $10 a piece or something like that. So you can't really beat that at all. So next up, let's go ahead and show some of the GameCube games that I got. Getting harder and harder to find GameCube games. I'm sure a lot of you guys know the prices on GameCube has like skyrocketed since the pandemic started. But we've got Surf's Up, International Winter Sports 2002. Unfortunately, a lot of times these are the only kind of affordable games you can find to add to the collection for the GameCube currently. We've got Hello Kitty Roller Rescue. Harvest Moon Magical Melody. Really fun game. Absolutely love a lot of the Mario sports games. But we have Mario Superstar Baseball. Absolutely love this game. This game, what is it? Super Strikers and the Mario Golf game on GameCube. All those are so good. Lord of the Rings: The Third Age, which a lot of people really like this game. I haven't really played it yet, but I'm looking forward to trying it out. Really, really underrated. I guess you could call this like a 3D platforming game, kind of like a third-person shooter type thing. But we've got Scalar on the GameCube. Like I said, this one is actually really, really fun. Really cool graphics, colorful and stuff like that. So play that if you haven't. And then Tie 3, The Tasmanian Tiger. I think I still need one of the Tie games on the GameCube. I can't remember if it's one or two off the top of my head. But those are really fun 3D platforming games too. So yeah, those are my GameCube games that I add to the collection. Not a ton, but like I said, with the prices the way they are, that will probably be the case for a while. But still some good stuff in this lot. Alright, so I guess next up, let's go ahead and start looking at some of these Sega Genesis games. Alright, so first up we have X-Men 2. I think this is the Clone Wars? Yeah. So now I've got X-Men and X-Men 2 on the Genesis. We have Vector Man, which kind of has like similar graphics to like Donkey Kong Country on Super Nintendo. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. I like it. It hasn't aged incredibly well, but I mean, it's still not a bad game by any means. We have TNN Outdoors Bass Tournament 96. That's a mouthful. We have 688 Attack Sub. Really fun game. We have the Animaniacs. I like the Genesis version quite a lot more than the Super Nintendo version. I cannot say this name to save my life. Marsupilami. Marsupilami? I think somebody told me in the comments section, I think this came in Retro Game Treasure or Video Games Monthly, that this was based off of a cartoon. I played this for a little bit. This is a very weird game. We have Green Dog, the Beached Surfer Dude. This game gets a lot of notoriety from GameSack, and you know they bash on this game quite a lot, but it's really not too bad. I didn't really find too many problems with it. A really interesting game in the Genesis library. We have Virtua Fighter 2. They kind of made this into a 2D fighting game on the Genesis. I kind of liked it. I didn't hate it at all. And Super Street Fighter 2. Really, really good Street Fighter game. Yeah. So that's the first little part. So some more loose carts here. We have Stimpy's Invention, Ren and Stimpy. Pitfall: The Mayan Adventures, which, you know, I've got this on Sega CD. That's another kind of cool thing about the Genesis. Sometimes you can get the Genesis version of game and the Sega CD version and kind of see how they stack up to each other and see what they changed in the Sega CD version to upgrade it, in quotation marks. But yeah, Pitfall, not a terrible game. Not anything to write home about either. We have WWF Royal Rumble. Absolutely love 90s wrestling games. Like to check out the rosters on these. And one of the cool things is a lot of times the Super Nintendo game would have different wrestlers than the Sega Genesis game. So it's really neat to go back and look at these. Primal Rage on the Genesis. Really, really liked this game a lot as a kid. It's not the best fighting game, but, you know, it's pretty cool. Absolutely fantastic game for the Sega Genesis. We have Kid Chameleon. I really like this game. If you guys haven't played that, you definitely should. Alright, so now for my 2 boxed Genesis games. We've got Altered Beast, which is a great arcade game that they ported to the Sega Genesis. I think this was the first packing game for the Sega Genesis, if I remember correctly. I mean, it's not an overly deep game, but it's fun in spurts, you know, if you don't have a whole lot of time. Really like Altered Beast. And last up for the Genesis, we have Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. I literally have these games on everything. Master System, Game Gear, Genesis. These are so good. Very, very good platforming games. Alright, so that is it for the Genesis. So I guess let's go on and let's show the Nintendo 64 games, since I don't have very many. But all these games are really good, and I'm happy to add them to the collection. Everybody needs this for their Nintendo 64 collection. We have Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards. Like I said, this is kind of like one of those staples for the Nintendo 64. I had it a long time ago, got rid of it, but I'm happy to have it again. Next up, we have Snowboard Kids. So I picked up Snowboard Kids 2 quite a long time ago, still didn't have the first one. These are really, really fun games. A little bit hard to get into at first, but once you get it, it's really, really fun. I love these games. Definitely play these Atlas titles. They are fantastic. And then last up, we have Star Soldier, Vanishing Earth. One of the very, very few shooters on the game. It has pretty basic 3D graphics, but it's fun. I like it. And if you like shooters, shoot 'em ups or whatnot, play this. It's really, really good. So yeah, some really cool Nintendo 64 games to add to the collection. Next up, I guess let's go ahead and let's do Super Nintendo, and then we'll finish it off with the NES. Like usual, because that's my favorite system of all time. Alright, so first up, in the red cart, we have Doom for Super Nintendo. This is actually a pretty good port of the game. I'd rather play this one than the 32X version. Kind of crazy that they were able to get this to run on the Super Nintendo to begin with. We've got Virtual Bart. Basically a collection of mini games. Some of them are fun, some of them are not, but still happy to get it. A game I bought because it looked interesting and I didn't know anything about it. We have Mohawk and Headphone Jack. Unfortunately, I really haven't had time to play it, so I still don't know a whole lot about it. But with a name like that, how could you resist? Speaking of 90s wrestling games, we have WWF Raw. We have Time Slip. Another one I bought basically because I don't know anything about it and I like discovering new games. Carrier Aces. I've got this on the NES, so I figured pick it up for the Super Nintendo and see what the differences are. We have RoboCop 3. And last up we have Nigel Mansell's World Championship. Formula 1 racing game. Yeah, so those are my Super Nintendo games. Like I said, some interesting titles in there, stuff I don't know a whole lot about. Really happy to get Doom. That's one that I've been looking to pick up for quite a while and finally found a price that I was comfortable paying. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. So let's finish this off with the NES. Alright, so first up we have an unlicensed cart. We've got Shockwave. Pretty cool. It's a different style game. It's got a kind of like that, I don't know how you would put it. It's got a different perspective to it, but it's fun. We've got Isolated Warrior. One of the better unlicensed NES games I have ever played. So if you guys like that kind of stuff, you should definitely check this one out. We have The Ultimate Stuntman. Like I said, it's fun. I mean, one of the better unlicensed carts I've ever played. We have Metal Fighter, which is obviously another unlicensed cart. And last up, the two games I'm happy to add to the collection the most, at least for the NES, we have Lethal Weapon. And last but certainly not least, been wanting to get this for a long time. It's an Atlas title. I love this game. Played it through an emulator a lot. We've got Rockin' Cats. You know, not the most expensive game in the world, but also not one of the cheaper NES carts. Definitely happy to knock this off the list. This is so much fun. If you guys like those like cartoony side-scrolling platforming games from the the NES age, and this one has really good graphics too. I love this game. It's so much fun. Definitely check out Rockin' Cats if you haven't. If you don't want to pay for the cart, hook up an emulator, a couple controllers, and play it on your PC. Alright guys, so that basically will do it for this pickups video. Like I said, I need to do these more often, so I'm not spurting off. Shoot, I don't even know how many games that was. Probably over 50 if I had to guess. But yeah, I mean, let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about this pickups video. What was your favorite game that I picked up this month or two? What kind of system do you want to collect for more? I really don't have too much of a straight and narrow shot at what I'm collecting for. I basically just collect for everything all at once. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought. What was your favorite game in this video? So I think I'm probably going to end the video. But first I want to say thank you so very much for tuning in to this episode of GBA. If you haven't, please like, comment, subscribe. It would help me out tremendously. If you guys know anybody who might like this kind of content, please share the video around. Always looking to grow the channel a little bit. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. So for now, I'm going to go open up some more boxes, maybe play some of these video games, try to enjoy the rest of my evening. I hope you do too. So until next time, everyone, I'll see you later.